You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
Everybody, Bing is for doing, you know what time it is. You know what time it is, because here's the music. Watch out. It's the full version, too, the full 3-6 Mafia version. Welcome to Main Event AfterBuzz, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. Some people like to call me professional wrestling's voice of choice. As always, you can be the judge of that. And alongside me this week, I have Miss Kaori Takee. How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
And a little more dapper of a Rome Moore.
Just a little bit.
The hair's down, it's got the jacket up.
Let the hair go. Gotta get the jacket on. You know,
Fall's
gotta
still coming, so.
you know, especially when you're playing Mark Henry.
I mean, I say like that and Wade Barrett's music are like the most like intimidating entrance music right now. It's just now if they actually did something with Wade Barrett, it would work for it.
Yeah.
But Mark Henry's music always has been so good.
Yeah.
So
Brock
powerful.
Lesnar's is really intimidating.
Lesnar's is good too. You're right. Lesnar's is up there as well.
Mark Henry's music could literally play right now on a hip hop station, and people would go like, "Who is that?" I gotta go.
Yeah, that's a song.
I mean,
that's a song you play at a club.
You are.
You can play that at a club.
That's true. That's true, because I do remember 3-6 Mafia's old stuff.
Academy Award winning 3-6 Mafia.
No, before that.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Academy Award winning.
Yeah, 3-6 Mafia. That's crazy.
Took Oscar to the club with him after they won it.
Well, we're playing Mark Henry's music for the second consecutive week. We get Mark Henry on Main Event. This week hailing from Rockford, Illinois, as Mark Henry teams up with the Usos to take on the Shield in a 6-man tag. A rematch from not this past Raw, but the week before. So they've been building up the idea of having Mark Henry and the Usos keep working with the Shield. But then based on last Monday's Raw and the commentary on Main Event today, they're now pretty much saying Mark Henry and Ryback, Mark Henry and Ryback, Mark Henry and Ryback. Trying to get that down our throats.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, wait, Mark Henry's not going to wrestle the Shield at SummerSlam, even though we have him wrestling the Shield again.
So let's have him do Ryback again.
Yeah. Well, it's been several months, and they never really had much of a
It hasn't been
rematch.
that
Yeah,
long.
no, it hadn't.
May, June, July, 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the roles are reversed. Ryback was a face then. Now Mark Henry is.
True.
That's true.
Good point.
But Mark Henry can't focus on Ryback because he's got to deal with the Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, the Shield.
The Shield.
But he's got the Usos to back him up.
He does have the Usos to back
Like
him
I
up.
said, he should worry about the Shield.
The first few minutes of this match was very similar to when these guys wrestled a couple weeks ago on Raw. Like I was saying, Henry dominating anyone that was in the ring with him. There's a point where I think it was Reigns distracted Mark Henry, which allowed Ambrose to hit him in the back of the knee, try to get the upper hand on him. Didn't last very long, because then all of a sudden, the Usos come in and it's like kind of chaos. This guy's like 3 minutes into the matchup, and the ref is just standing there. She's like,
you know what I liked
what's going on?
Right before that.
All right.
Was when Henry first got in the ring with Ambrose and he goes to corner him. Henry's backing him into the corner, and
Ambrose trying to make, can I go left? Can I go right?
Which way do I go? I'm not sure, and he couldn't get his Reggie Bush together. But I just like the little things that he does in the ring. That's something that you would realistically do in a fight with Mark Henry. How do I get around this massive man? Because he's like a megalodon.
You know what that
Megalodon.
Yes. You know what that reminded me of? you remember old school American Gladiators? They had that event where like you pretty much had to like run a football field and then wrestle a guy.
Yeah.
Here's like the little scrawny gladiator going against Turbo.
Which way? Which way?
And like trying to like go, can I get around? That's what Ambrose was with Mark Henry.
That's what that looked like. Yeah, that's exactly.
Ambrose
what
lost.
Yeah,
Mark Henry caught him and threw him down. And just utter chaos. All of a sudden, the Usos are coming in, and Rollins is in, and the ref is just standing there, not trying to separate anybody. Like 2-3 minutes into the matchup.
Yeah, you guys just do your thing, and I'll clear you out later, I guess. Because that's pretty much what it looked like.
That's pretty much like all of a sudden as Mark Henry's getting ready to do like a big splash, Ambrose and Roman pull out Seth Rollins from harm, and that's when the ref's like, okay, that'll ring. Usos, come on. Get to the corner now, please.
You guys go back. Let's get the legal men back in here.
One of the Usos was kind of missing from action.
Jay did nothing in this match.
Yeah.
Jay Uso did absolutely nothing in this match.
Let's kick back.
Yeah,
I mean, because we come back from the commercial, and it's Jimmy getting the crap beat out of him for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there wasn't any big, like, highlights per se or any really flashy moves. It was just each guy in the Shield taking turns, just stomping and clotheslining and punching and beating down Jimmy.
Was it scientific?
Did you guys notice, by the way, that Dean Ambrose wasn't wearing his armor thing? Well, not armor thing, but his...
He wasn't wearing the vest?
Yeah, he wasn't wearing his vest.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was
was he?
It was interesting. It's like, stepping up his power there. He doesn't need that vest.
Losing an article closing, he's stepping up his power to Corey.
Well, yeah, for me, of course it is.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I see how she rates the power. The less clothes you're wearing, the stronger you are. That's why she loves Cesaro.
That's exactly.
He never
Really
wears
doesn't wear
anything.
any
He doesn't even
You guys
wear
brought him up.
pads.
I did. I did.
He did that.
I did.
you.
Doesn't mean you get to talk about it for the next hour.
Okay.
Anywho.
But thank you.
Sad.
It is. Jimmy finally, after what felt like an eternity of being beaten down, suddenly hits a super kick on, I believe, Ambrose, and then a dragon whip kick on Rollins. Crawls over, gets the tag to Henry. So, again, not Jay, but Henry, who has, as you kind of deemed, the slowest hot tag.
Yeah.
Slowest hot tag in the history of the business. And what made it so hilarious was there were no clotheslines, no punches. It was just
You're like,
run
boom,
into
headbutt,
my stomach.
run to my stomach.
Yeah, just run into my chest and stomach area and fall.
It almost seemed like, and I don't want this to sound rude because I don't want him to suddenly walk through the store and hurt me.
I would love that, actually.
Well, that's not nice of you. But it almost seemed.
Hurt him?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
No one could hurt you.
Yes, he can. I'm not going to deny that. But I mean, Mark Henry kind of.
I just want him to get through the
It
door.
kind of looked like he half-assed it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just kind of there, and that's not normally what we see in a Mark Henry. He jogged into a splash. He didn't run into a splash. And
To his credit, that's a very heavy man.
yes, he is.
So moving that much.
I understand he could
weight.
probably still beat me in a race, and he's twice my weight.
I mean, it's a 20 by 20
Yeah.
ring. It's kind of far for 400 pounds to move, so maybe.
But we've seen him do it.
I know, but maybe he was a little less Ali. He was a little bit more George Foreman or Frazier. I don't know. It was not good. It was just so slow.
I don't know.
He's like Bowser, slow to accelerate and fast to.
Big
A Mario Kart reference, huh? I like it. Actually, Mario Kart was one of the few video games that I loved playing.
It's a great game.
But yeah, Mark Henry slowly takes out like all three guys, and then after a minute of that, tags Jimmy back in. I looked up like I don't even see Jay on the apron. I completely missed what happened to Jay.
I don't know where.
Yeah, where did he go? I mean, he really.
I guess one of the guys on the Shield must have pulled him down that I didn't even notice.
Maybe during
'cause
commercial break, he went to go get popcorn.
He just went to go get popcorn. So he made the.
He's like, yo, bro, you
He made a
can't go.
Got
tag
it.
back to Jimmy right away, who hits his top rope splash. Looks like the Usos are going to pull off the upset and pin Ambrose. But pretty much as he bounces up from the splash, Rollins runs in with his finisher that we've yet to have a name, where he pretty much, it's like a curb stomp, but he's just jumping onto him.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Looks great. And then Ambrose rolled on top of Jimmy, gets to 1, 2, 3. The Shield victorious on Main Event over Mark Henry and the Usos.
Once again.
What does this mean with Mark Henry? Is he going to feud with the Usos, or is he going to go with Ryback like the commentators were pretty much trying to get down our throats? What does this mean for the Usos? Are they still feuding with Reigns and Rollins for the tag titles? Because they lost on Raw to the Un-Americans.
I'm wondering
they
if that's
lose on
coming.
Main Event to the Shield.
Yeah.
So, this was a type of match that brought up more questions than answers to me.
They're getting too much.
That's what Main Event does to us.
Yeah.
It has a lot of random things happening on this show.
But a lot of them are good.
Yeah.
A lot of the things though are good. It's like, oh, I would like to see more of that. This one was just kind of like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Where are they going?
I might be the only one that feels this way, but watching one of the Usos do a splash without the twin underneath.
It looked better, didn't it?
No, I mean, it just felt like it wasn't their It wasn't the finisher without one of them missing.
Okay, hold up. Wait a minute.
Go, you take this one.
What?
Right? Go ahead.
Are you actually saying that it didn't seem like the same finisher?
It seemed the same, but I
simply
mean,
because
Another guy
There's
wasn't
missing-
standing there.
standing in front of
He's
him.
not a part of
I
the
mean,
move.
that was their point. I know physically he's not really part of the move, but
Yeah,
he
you-
just stands there. But it just felt like
So the splash didn't have
Really?
the moral
That's-
support.
exactly that's why they didn't win. That is why
That is why.
it wasn't effective.
The emotion of his brother standing in the corner.
It wasn't a moral support splash. It was just a splash.
Yeah.
As opposed.
because his
Okay.
brother was out getting popcorn. It wasn't
Yeah,
cool.
he had to go get popcorn.
I guess.
Yeah.
So that's how this match ends. Shield victorious. Star rating. What we got, Corey?
Too.
Okay. You want to elaborate at all, or just go 2?
No, I honestly.
Dos.
No, I'll give it 2.5. It was an average match. It had some good moments and it had some cool stars in there. The better part of it was what came after the match, which was the promo. I'm sure we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
we'll get to the promo
So-
in a moment.
I'm staying mum.
Okay. Rome, what about you?
I will give it a 2.
All right.
Simply because I've seen the Usos have come a long way.
Yep.
The Shield is the Shield doing what they do, and we all know Mark Henry. Those components in a match can do so much more than what they did in just this match. They kept it simple. They kept it safe. That's cool, but it was a safe choice. I give it a 2.
I 100% agree with everything you said. I'm still going to give it a 2.5. I like the fact that they actually let the Shield win it, because honestly, I was thinking the way the match was going, I was thinking they were going to somehow let the Usos get a pin to help build up that tag title feud some more. But
Nah.
I like to me, it was almost a surprise that the Shield won, which is bad to say that the champions surprised me in winning.
Yeah, heel champion.
That's a problem.
Face chasing, not surprising to me.
But the way the Shield's been going, that's why it surprised me, because they really haven't done a whole lot with them the last several weeks. They're kind of wondering what to do, because who are they wrestling at SummerSlam in 2 weeks?
Don't know.
It's true.
We have no idea
But
at all.
Hopefully this week will shed some light on a lot of things.
More questions.
Yeah.
More questions. And then we get a post-match promo from the Shield backstage, and as soon as this was done, I mean, I looked at you guys like, why wasn't this on Raw? This is the type of promo that helps them.
Yeah.
And I was happy that it was our main event.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy it was on Main Event, too. Don't get me wrong. But it's also, are they going to replay that promo on Raw? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
I don't think the Wyatts would be too happy about it because they stole their lighting. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah.
Well, and that, I think, is really why they don't know what to do with the Shield, because now here come the Wyatts, who are also incredible, a trio, the fresh new thing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a completely different thing than the Shield.
It's even hotter.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
The
wouldn't.
gimmick is way
pun
hotter than the
intended.
Shield.
I mean, obviously next week will be our predictions for SummerSlam, but I would not be surprised if SummerSlam begins like the unraveling of the Shield. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, who knows if one of them is even going to have a match at this point? But if one of them does, I wouldn't be surprised if they happen to lose, and then that begins the unraveling, because they're going to start pushing the Wyatts, and then the Shield as a faction will start taking a backseat, and then maybe they'll start going their separate ways. But we'll wait and see.
We shall see.
But we have a promo that is just killer. Dean Ambrose, similar again to Bray Wyatt. Anytime he has the microphone, I'm just like, Go on.
How cute.
Isn't
You
it?
got a man crush over there?
I don't have a man crush. I
Not a
just
man
love
crush?
the promos.
It's okay.
I love the
Just making sure.
promos and maybe a little man crush. But
A
no.
little bit.
Ambrose goes on saying, I don't want to say that it was too easy, but that was too easy. That's exercise for, guys like Mark Henry are a waste of time. You guys aren't looking at rookies. You're looking at the United States champion. You're looking at the tag team champions. We're the new measuring sticks. I like that line a lot. And, we set the standard for the industry from now on. And then Rollins goes on and, again, adds more fuel to it. And Roman, I really enjoy Roman's promo work, too, because he says very little.
Yeah.
And he says it slowly.
He's my favorite.
But he's just so freaking huge.
Yeah.
It's just like, believe.
That's all he needs to say.
That's all he needs to say, really.
Because the
He really
the entire room vibrates when he speaks. So you
Yeah, it's
kinda,
like, shut up, he's speaking.
yeah, he's got a really deep voice. It
Mm-hmm.
matches his look. Works.
Yeah. So
Much better than Rollins. Rollins' voice doesn't match his look.
he's a good talker, though. He's gotten
He is.
I didn't say he
better.
wasn't a good talker.
Right.
He is a good talker, but his look doesn't match his voice.
Well,
Kind of like Mike Tyson.
But between the three,
No, Bobby Lashley's the best
Yeah,
example of that.
Bobby Lashley.
but between the three, I think Roman Reigns is the most intimidating one.
Well, he's the biggest.
Yeah, he's
Well, not just because
gigantic.
of just
He's
the
the
whole
tallest,
package.
the strongest. He's got the
Hottest.
longest hair.
Thank you. She,
I just had,
of course,
you know.
she says hottest. What does that do
Oh.
for us?
Oh, girls.
Girls.
You guys are so silly. Hey, speaking of girls, we have Divas action on Main Event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Segway champ.
Man, though, I mean, like, especially now with Total Divas, I was hoping to have better Divas matches coming up our way.
Well, we didn't even really know much of a match because all the commentary was talking about was Total Divas.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was like Plug and Natalia's.
Yeah,
up in there.
this was the era. It's like, oh, this is how we can plug Total Divas on Main Event this week. Natalya, go in there with a match with Aksana.
Who's like my least favorite diva right now.
Well, Aksana, and I've said on the show before, she's impressed me on her improvements over the last several months. And I don't know what happened today.
But the last time she was on Main Event, she also wasn't that good. I forget who she was up
I
against.
think she was solid. It was a tag match, I
I
believe.
remember that match. I
Yeah.
can't remember. Yeah.
I think it was a tag match where
Because that was the one
Aksana,
with the crawl. where
Aksana's
she did-
kinda-
Oh yeah, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
she's kind of the slower, maybe a little more technical in a way of one of the divas. So her wrestling overall tends to work. And you would think, all right, if she's kind of one of the technical heels and you're going up against what many consider the best wrestler, women's wrestler in the WWE, this should work out to a solid, entertaining match. And Aksana, it was weird. She didn't acknowledge the crowd really at all in this match,
But she doesn't acknowledge them a lot in general.
which is very important for a heel to do.
yeah.
I don't think she knows they're
She's
there.
not very engaging. That's
Yeah.
why I don't like her very much right now.
Well, we never really hear her talk.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, we need a story behind Aksana.
You need something.
We had one,
I know she was once Cesaro's
right? But
friend.
Really?
I'm not. No, I'm not trying to bring it up to get a joke out of here. But there was a story
No, I
with
know.
her there.
Yeah.
And then they decided to end that, and then she fell to obscurity. Oh, she was also, I think before that, she was Teddy Long's crush,
Oh, yeah.
which, yeah, remember that? Do you want to remember that?
No.
All right.
So she's supposed to be like a diva with a lot of sex appeal, oozing, intelligence.
see
and-
it.
So, yeah.
I don't get it.
It can work if we start seeing her maybe like backstage, start flirting with some of the guys a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe even come out and watch her, align herself with somebody. She needs to align herself with a wrestler.
And if you guys are going to talk about Justin Gabriel's jacket with wings, I'm going to talk about her outfit. I do not like that one piece on her at all. She needs to change it up.
I'm not a huge fan of it personally.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't-
Just wanted to say.
I don't have
And she brought up the hashtag Bad Jacket Justin.
I did.
Bad Jacket Justin, baby.
Not appearing on
One day
tonight's
that
main
will
event.
trend.
Yeah.
One day that will trend.
Hashtag.
Oh, by the way,
Bad
also
Jacket Justin.
in the Stevos match, we find out Miz is a 9-time reality star.
And the funny part is, we're like, that's so true. Accurate.
I actually started counting in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, I was trying to think in my head. How many
Yeah.
times the real world has been on? That adds up.
Miz loves to talk about himself. He loves it.
He also liked to mention that the Heart Dungeon is one of the hardest dungeons to get out of.
Oh yeah.
Because there's
So many other dungeons.
so many.
The Heart Dungeon and
that people go
Alcatraz.
in. Yeah,
They're battling for number one.
been in both. Trained with the best.
There's a point. Aksana starts working on Natalya's leg after she really kind of no-sold no-sold. Yeah. I mean, it's a term where you're not really selling, you're not showing the pain.
Well, yeah,
the whole-
but the whole thing felt like that. It was just okay. Go on.
Well, no, I mean, it's kind of true. It's sad because I felt like Natalya was trying to do everything in her power to make this match happen. And I mean, even at the end, when Natalya gets the one with the sharpshooter, it still didn't look right. And Aksana wasn't screaming as much or reaching for the ropes as you would.
No.
Yeah.
You would expect to see out of a heel that's in your opponent's finishing super painful submission hold. I've been in a sharpshooter before. They hurt.
Well, when you sit back on them, they hurt.
Yes.
That would be step one. Also, the funniest part of that move, we talked about it while we were watching it, watching Aksana as she's being put into the sharpshooter, just kind of like normally someone's going into the sharpshooter, they're looking left, they're looking right, they're looking for an escape, they're trying to reach to the person, and she was just kind of doing like,
It felt lazy.
Yeah, wasn't really a lot of effort to try to keep the sharpshooter off of her. It was just don't put me, I'm in the move.
And then
it was one of those things.
And yeah, I remember you pointing out that when Natalya was dragging her, she was like doing a half sit up
Yeah.
or something. It just
You gotta.
she was not putting much effort. It
You
felt
gotta
like.
go all out. Or if you're gonna do that, just do nothing. You need to go all out. You need to make it look like you're really trying to get out of the move.
Yeah, I mean, you're there for everyone watching at home and that live crowd. You should be in extensive pain. They're trying to escape.
Yep.
Or if you're in control, in this case, when you're a heel, you should be taunting your opponent, taunting the crowd when you're in control. It's like, I'm dominating. This match is over. Blah 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 blah. And I was very surprised that we didn't really get any of that out of Aksana because I've seen it from her before, and I don't know where it went. But it wasn't certainly not there today.
Bad day.
They had some really good popcorn
Yeah.
Oh,
at that.
She had a couple kernels.
well, because Jay left to get
Jay
it.
left, and that's where that part of her went with Jay to get popcorn. Yeah.
Well, so it might have been like a little bloated from the popcorn
Yeah,
or something.
like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I believe her heeldom went with popcorn.
I love how you brought that back. That was good. That's a good job.
I had to.
Good job, bro.
Yep.
All right.
Recall.
I'm giving this 1.5 stars. It was not good. And I feel bad because if you're really trying to plug Total Divas, which is a super entertaining show,
Really good show.
Well, people are gonna watch.
but they're still going to watch regardless. But say someone just happened to be flipping through and this is the first Divas match they ever saw. Because there's always a few people where that's the case.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's that
And it's
girl
like,
on the Total Divas
that girl's
show.
on Total Divas. I was thinking about possibly starting watching that because they talk about the wrestling. And then they see that match and it's like,
I know. I know. It
and it's
wasn't a good
and it's not
representation.
Natalia's fault.
Yeah.
No, it's not her fault. Oksana was having a bad day.
Yeah.
So, and I was actually also going to give it 1.5 stars as well, because E for effort, and I didn't feel engaged. And whenever Aksana comes out, I have hope that she's gonna be better, but she always gives me the same lackluster experience. She's not my favorite diva right now, at all. Really, no. Done.
I'm surprised you said E for effort because I didn't see much. One going with that match. Natalya tried, but
Yeah. That's pretty much all you could say.
Yeah.
Really.
she tried.
Yeah. So, Rome, you give it a 1 star, and curious what the chat room says about that one. But you know what a lot of people are saying about our show? They're saying 5 stars for us. And you can see that if you head over to iTunes and rate and comment and subscribe and tell your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz and the brand new upgraded AfterBuzzTV.com, where you can track all your favorite shows. You can watch them live or obviously listen to them off of the iTunes. And tell your friends we do Main Event, Raw, SmackDown, Total Divas, the pay-per-views. And if you watch TV, that show is probably an AfterBuzz. So make sure you check it out, subscribe, tell friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz. Hooray. Recap from Monday Night Raw.
Huh? Your little happy tag.
That was my, yeah.
That.
Go do it.
That was like Peter Griffin right there.
Yeah.
They definitely need to catch a freeze frame of you in that pose.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
All right, I'll do it for 3 more seconds. Someone in the chat room send it to me on Twitter. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
We couldn't even do 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Recap from Monday Night Raw was only recap we had all night.
Which was nice.
It was nice, but with as great of a promo that Daniel Bryan and Cena had, I was very surprised we didn't have any type of recap from it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a recap fan by any means. I just know sometimes it's necessary, and I felt that was honestly more necessary than this one. But
Sure.
we had a good recap of the issues between CM Punk and Curtis Axel, who actually had a really solid match on Raw this past Monday, and then Brock Lesnar coming out, Punk trying to fight him off, trying to fight Axel off, trying to get his hands on Heyman, but eventually falls victim to the F5 and several chair shots to the back.
Yeah.
And then we find out that this coming Monday on Raw, CM Punk is going to go one-on-one with Paul Heyman.
Big question mark.
Big ginormous question mark.
I don't really know if that's really going to... There's got to be a way that Heyman's going to weasel his way out of that one.
Of course.
You know?
But you don't think he's going to take him on man?
Highly doubt it. That's not the way Heyman rocks. You know it.
We're going to see a little Curtis Axel. You're going to see a little Brock Lesnar.
Maybe a little
More some
Lesnar.
bum-bum. Bum-bum.
Yep.
I love that music.
Wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden it turns to, say, a no DQ match or a handicap match or whatever. Because apparently Paul Heyman gets the power from Brad Maddox to make matches all of a sudden.
Yeah, right?
Yeah! Speaking of,
Yeah!
the Beast.
The Beast.
Love it.
It's the Beast and the best, as he said.
He does
His
this little-
client.
This little hopping. Awesome.
You know what?
Oh,
The one thing I can't stand about Brock right now, and I love everything about Brock Lesnar,
But then how can you not stand something?
Because when he was first here, when he first showed up in pro wrestling, he did that hopping rhythm.
Yes.
It was perfect.
Yes.
It looked like he was about to come to the ring and kill somebody.
Yes.
Now it's like he can't get the rhythm together. It's just like,
I like
let
it
me go out here and
still.
give me my check. Like, it's kind of
Well,
weird.
that check part's probably right too, but
Go out here, beat somebody up, give him a check.
To be fair, he's a lot bigger and a lot older.
That is true.
And his body's taking a lot more of a beating since he first came out.
That is true. That is true. He didn't have to deal with the likes of Frank Mir.
Maybe in his mind he's on beat.
he's on
Maybe.
beat still.
In his mind, he's probably on a lot of things.
Go ahead, say what you want about Lesnar. Lesnar, you're a great guy. You're super strong.
I like this.
Don't hurt me.
He's a mean one in person, I've heard.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not good.
There are a lot
I've never met him.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I've heard more bad than good when it comes to meeting Brock Lesnar. I'll put it that way.
Oh, it's like scary?
Not scary, just scary.
Yeah.
He's a pretty intimidating
I'm
guy.
sure. he
Intimidating guy,
is.
and he's kind of hard to deal with, I've heard from time to time.
I understand. A lot of famous people have,
Yeah.
you know.
Not me. Oh, wait.
You're famous?
You are difficult
Sure.
to deal with, actually.
Hey, I was in a Royal Rumble this weekend. I lasted for a minute.
1 star. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
my Royal Rumble appearance got 1 star.
Just kidding.
It was glorious. But that leads to Curtis Axel on Main Event. We got the Intercontinental Champion on Main Event. That's a nice treat.
And I think that's why we had this promo. Why they chose.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I would think that this match that he has with Sin Cara could have been cut like about 5 minutes shorter, and then after that we could have had someone with Cena and Dan O'Brien.
But we don't really need a recap, though. You know what I mean? Especially after you watch Raw on Monday, then 2 days later in a 1-hour show.
Then why do we need it for CM Punk?
Well, because they wanted that.
Why do they need him on SmackDown?
Why. Well, SmackDown is 2 hours. Main event, you know.
Come on.
We
They
don't
do
got
them on
much
NXT.
time.
They do them on Superstars. They do them on all the shows.
I'm just saying we didn't really need the Bryan Cena.
That's the biggest
necessarily.
match for SummerSlam.
Sure, and we're gonna see it over and over again. That thing, we will. We'll probably see it next week on Main Event. By the way, 2 weeks ago on Raw, this stuff happens.
All right.
Is it?
She was very defiant about that.
Yeah, she was.
I know. I have moments.
Is
Wow.
it still the biggest match on SummerSlam?
Based on the crowd's reaction, I think so.
Oh,
I think the crowd is
definitely.
more behind that than
Bryan
Punk
is
and
getting-
Lesnar.
Daniel Bryan.
It's
is
all
It's all Daniel Bryan.
Daniel
It's all
Bryan.
Bryan.
Yep.
It's or is it the hope that Cena will lose?
We'll talk more about that next week in the predictions.
Yes, we
Yeah,
will.
I have to have time to marinate my
Yeah.
predictions.
Curtis Axel versus Sin Cara. And on Main Event, we get Paul Heyman on commentary.
Which is awesome.
I got a lot of random screenshots today, don't I?
Which makes for all three of them making great comments.
Well, here's the thing. We were more entertained, and the match was solid. It was a fun match, but the commentary was even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, we were busy listening to the commentary over watching the match, which was a good match.
Good match.
I mean, Curtis Axel and Sin Cara, they've wrestled several times over the last few months on TV, and now we got on Main Event, and they gave them a long time. Like I said, I would have liked this to be a few minutes shorter, but they gave them a lot of time, and they worked it well. And it's just it's the Paul Heyman show on commentary, though, the whole time. We come back from the commercial, and it's Paul Heyman bringing us in. He's like, we're back on Main Event where Josh Matthews and Miz are ambushing Paul Heyman with questions about his match next week with CM Punk.
Yeah.
I loved it. He comes back in third person.
I know. It was very, very entertaining. And Josh Matthews has the line of his career.
Well,
That's a huge statement.
feeding off of another Heyman haymaker when he drops the Curtis Axel more perfect than his father.
Yes.
And we think that's the end of the conversation. And
And then Josh Matthews goes, Paul Heyman continues his assault on silence. This is like, wow. Well done, Josh Matthews.
That was great.
Well done.
great retort.
Yeah.
And then, Miz and Josh Matthews are constantly trying to ask Heyman questions about his match next week on Raw with Punk or the issues with Lesnar.
That just sounds so weird.
And I know. And not really talking about the actual match that has taken place, which is entertaining the crowd, which is entertaining to us. And there's this quote that Paul Heyman does at this point, which I also thought was outstanding, because Miz, I think, is saying, well, what if Punk finally gets their hands on you? Or what if Punk takes out Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? And Paul Heyman goes, I don't live in a world of ifs. I live in a world of absolutes. That is such a great line for a heel manager to say.
Another one.
And just another haymaker.
Another
Yeah.
great line.
I mean, honestly, whenever Curtis Axel comes out and Paul Heyman comes out along, of course they go hand in hand. Paul Heyman's always the one that steals the show. Always. For me.
But
I know.
that's what a good manager does.
I know, and that's great. He's
You
phenomenal.
You could not name some career highlights of some wrestlers that Bobby Heenan managed when Heenan was not managing them.
Yeah, Heenan was.
Tell me
Heenan could get a pencil over.
Tell me one big highlight that Hercules had as a singles wrestler without Bobby Heenan. Thank you.
Creek.
Don't worry, we'll wait.
I mean, and that's the same thing with Paul Heyman. That's why so many people are saying now that Paul Heyman could be the number 2 all-time greatest manager, and I can understand that argument.
Who would be number 1?
Heenan's number 1. Nobody can
Brain.
touch Bobby Heenan.
The brain.
Bobby Heenan.
Great on the mic, great commentary, great manager.
There was times where he managed like 7 guys at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were all over the card. Some were low card, mid card, tag teams, main eventers.
Back in the fashions of real stables.
Yes, the Heenan family.
They had to be at least 4 people.
I want to look this up.
Well,
Usually it was like 7.
in fact, they made a Bobby Heenan DVD a few years ago. It's short, but it's actually quite entertaining. So go ahead and look that up if you can. I mean, you had the Heenan family. You have the Paul Heyman guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's only got 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if he got 2 or 3 more.
It would
Like a tag team and another guy.
Yeah, there's people in queue ready to go.
Oh, well, they got plenty of guys on the roster now. You got plenty of guys in NXT that are
But
pretty much ready for that call up.
But to
Yep,
be
yep.
pegged as a Heyman guy, it really means something. I mean,
does.
Oh, yeah.
We know where Lesnar came from. We know how he became a Heyman guy. We know where Punk comes from. All those stories they've been telling
Yes.
about OVW, Louisville, those are all true.
Yes.
Like everything that they say, Heyman really was the guy to get Punk to the level that he's at, to get him on television, to get him to the WWE. So all of that is really true. So when he said in that infamous promo, "I'm a Paul Heyman guy," that meant so much. So now I almost look at Curtis Axel being given to Paul Heyman as this pet project. As, come on, man, like you went from Lesnar and you had Punk, and now they're almost force feeding the Curtis Axel as a Paul Heyman guy
Right.
type of deal. Curtis Axel never had to struggle like Punk did to get up to the roster. That didn't
Sure.
happen. And granted, Brock, I mean, look at him. He literally from day one, they went and got him out of college.
Yeah, they did.
But to see that happen with Axel, I don't hold no offense to Curtis Axel. I just got to see what he's going to do. He's got to prove that he's worthy of the Heyman tag.
You don't think he
That's
has
how I
yet?
look at it. Not
No?
yet. Not yet.
'Cause I think he's improved week by week by week with his persona, his talking, his mat work, his entrance, which we all despised at first.
Yeah.
I thought he's gotten that a little better.
I'll put it like this: is Brock Lesnar pretty much a WWE legend?
Yes.
Is CM Punk future Hall of Famer, WWE legend?
Future Hall of Famer, yes. And WWE legend, yes. Axel's still
Curtis
too young.
Axel has
Not there
got
yet.
to- obviously, that's what I'm saying.
he's got a long way to go.
A lot of time, but he's got a long way to go to get up there. Paul Heyman has a legacy.
Worried. But there's some people then, how are you going to add more people into Paul Heyman's, make more Paul Heyman guys then?
It depends on
The only option is RVD at this point by going by your argument.
Yeah, because he brought up an entire company,
Right.
so you got to go with that. But you also got to see, how long is Paul going to be with the company as well. That's the other thing.
You know who I really want to be a Paul Heyman guy, and I think it's going to completely throw you guys off? Drew McIntyre.
That threw me off.
It didn't throw me off. I figured he would say that.
Really?
Well, no. Well, the reason being, Drew McIntyre came in with all the glory.
Yeah, he
His
did.
first in-ring appearance was with Vince McMahon calling him the Chosen One, and then he fell to obscurity. And then you could do a thing with Paul Heyman saying that wasn't McIntyre's fault. That was the politics and the back's fault holding this guy down. I don't want to hold this guy down anymore. I think it'd be a perfect Paul Heyman guy to add if we wanted to grow a stable along with it.
That's true. I could go with that because, like I said, there's an air of what's the word? There's an air of redemption to a lot of Heyman's guys. That's what I like to see. Curtis hadn't been through anything yet. Nothing, like I said, nothing against the kid. He's just hadn't.
He had the team with
been
David
through
Otunga.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Yeah. Never mind.
Well,
Touche.
all right, I win.
Tonga.
Touche.
Well, when all is said and done in this match, Axel picks up the win with his finisher. And here's another thing. We have a lot of really cool finishing moves that don't have names. Axel's
That's
finisher
true.
doesn't have a name. Ambrose's finisher doesn't have a name. Rollins' finisher doesn't have a name.
So we end with that's really cool move.
Yeah, that really cool finishing move.
He hits him with that cool move.
They haven't announced the name of Bray Wyatt's finisher on TV yet. In NXT, they called it Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
But they haven't acknowledged it on WWE programming. So it's a matter of like, why are we holding back from giving these names so people go like, oh, he's going for the blank, you know?
He's going for
maybe they'll name a move
that
blank.
cool move.
Or that cool move.
I hope he keeps Sister Abigail though.
I love that name, Sister Abigail, for Wyatt.
love that
But
name.
I want this neck breaker DDT combo of Axel to have a cool name with it.
Yeah, it's
and
gotta
obviously
have a
throw
name.
someone with perfect in it because that would make sense.
That's true.
I'm going to give this 3 stars.
Okay.
I thought it was a fun match, and I think without the commentary, it would have been a 2.5.
Gosh, you just stole my line right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, now I don't even come to
Done.
All right, we'll just talk about me.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm going to give it 3 because the commentary, and it was a rare occurrence where the commentary was actually more entertaining than the match, especially when the match was solid. It wasn't like a boring. It wasn't the Divas match that we had prior to it. It was a fun match, and the commentary actually made it even more entertaining.
Yeah. And I was going to say I would have given it 2.5. And then with the commentary, I would have given it a 3. So you jacked my brain.
I do that. I get mind powers from you guys.
I'm totally with you guys, full agreement. But you did not jack my brain. So yeah,
I didn't?
No. Sorry.
Oh, next time. I'll try next time.
No, I don't want.
It's scary. It hurts when he does it.
Nah. No mind meld, nothing.
No?
Sorry.
So that wraps up what was overall a fairly lackluster main event, which was weird because we had a lot of names on main event this week.
We did.
But it just didn't really deliver for some reason.
They didn't
Yeah,
really feel like working.
last week's was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
IMO.
main event, the biggest issue with main event right now is it's been a little inconsistent. There are some weeks where it's fantastic from top to bottom, good match, good match, good match. And then there have been weeks where it's been worse than this one.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since we.
sure.
But then this was just kind of like, you know. I wanted more out of that 6-man tag. I wanted more out of that Divas match. I mean, with those type of people on there, with the stories that they could have told with it, I would have expected more.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of times, main event is not the wrestling show where there's storyline movement, but it's a show that's supposed to showcase really good, solid matches, and tonight didn't really fare that. You know what's missing, right? In my opinion.
No.
Yoshitatsu, who tweeted back to us.
That's true. I wished him a very happy birthday. He tweeted.
Yoshitatsu tweeted us, which means we are awesome.
He's a nice guy.
So
Yoshi Nation.
With that positive Yoshi Nation note, let's start wrapping up tonight's show. So in the meantime, before we come back next week, Corey, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me at KAORIOUS, Kaorius.
Yep, mine's same as always. Rome the Ruler on Twitter and Get Better Sheamus.
Yes, we forgot to talk about
yes.
Sheamus injured, tore his labrum, gone 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
So get
be
well,
back, though.
Sheamus. We'll see you in a few months from now. You can follow me on
Wow.
Twitter.
He's going to be whiter than ever.
He'll be whiter than ever. Probably return at the Royal Rumble. My guess is he'll return at the Rumble. You can follow me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. I'm also doing AfterBuzz SmackDown this week. Corey and I do AfterBuzz Total Divas. So make sure you check those shows out as well. Thank you all for tuning in. For Kaori Takee and Rome Moore, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.